Hey everybody, welcome to Game Day View. Patrick Claybon back here with Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland here to take you through the remaining Week 3 schedule, which, spoiler alert, Cynthia is ultimately going to win because that's what you do.
I don't know what to say. That's very nice. I appreciate you.
You know what? We've all been very good when we're on an island and we pick our games. And we've been good when we're together. So it's a team win here.
We're better together. Let's
We
just
are
see
better together.
How good we all are relative to Cynthia again. We all had good
Yikes.
Week 2s. Cynthia and I went 12-4. Greg went 11-5, and so the crown remains on Cynthia Freeland. We do a little thing called primetime picks occasionally, sitting in these chairs. Cynthia has been on fire in primetime, especially with some late wins that I would like to complain about, but we'll hear plenty of complaining on this show. Let's talk some ball. The Rams and Eagles met up in last year's divisional round with under a minute to go. LA driving to take the lead. Stafford hit Puka Nacua for 10 yards down to the Eagles' 13. Then on 3rd and 2, Jalen Carter sacked him, and on 4th down, Stafford sailed one incomplete looking for Nacua. The Eagles held on to win 28-22, advance to the NFC Championship. Then they would go on to play in the Super Bowl. They would win the Super Bowl. They don't want to talk about it because they say they're not defending anything. Either way, big-time rematch Sunday at the Link. Both teams coming off of wins, and Sean McVay is actually coaching hurt here, fresh off of dealing with the plantar fascia surgery. So does he get revenge?
No, because it's a regular season game, but he gets a win because I think he's the fresher coach. He's the one with new ideas.
He's hobbled.
He's got someone that's inspiring him in Davante Adams. I really do look at this Rams team and think they're catching the Eagles at the right time. Like, the Eagles seem a little tired. They have a new offensive coordinator in Kevin Patullo, whereas the Rams have more cohesion. And when you look at what Sean McVay has been cooking up in the lab for Davante Adams, it is like the whole offense is almost built around him, especially in the red zone. Like, Matthew Stafford loves throwing to this guy. They're figuring out what he can do. Well, oh, by the way, while Puka Nacua is making so many great plays too. So ultimately, I think it's a time of the year that the Eagles aren't fully formed, and the Rams, they are ready.
You've got a 1-point win. I've got a 2-point win for the Los Angeles Rams, and it's probably I just have to look at the gentlemen that need to cover Davante Adams as well as Puka Nacua. Not you, Quinyon. You're fine. Mainly Adoree Jackson, really the guy that's being asked to play the Slay role, and he's getting a lot of action. See, this is looking at the All-22 on this, it feels like that was more of a Reed Blankenship situation that Quinyon was trying to make up for. Either way, giving up 6 catches for 106 yards when targeted in coverage was Adoree Jackson against CeeDee Lamb and the Dallas Cowboys. The ask is maybe a little bit less difficult against the Kansas City Chiefs. These Los Angeles Rams are decidedly not the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's tough, so I'm going to take the Rams in this one, Cynthia.
Are you guys kidding?
No, we're not.
No, we're going to give you the defending Super Bowl champions.
You got them to me last week.
Home favorites against a team that they beat twice, including once last year, destroying them. Just take it away.
Well, I mean, first of all, I had no idea that, whatever, 25-20 Eagles. Eagles fans, please, you can tell them that they're wrong.
Yeah, let us know.
We all know that the Eagles. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, it's an interesting matchup for sure. I do think that one thing needs to change for these Eagles to absolutely secure this better than expected win per my model. And what is that? Intermediate passing. Let's look at the total. Oh, wait a minute. This is from last year. What are you talking? Oh, he's thrown exactly 0 passes between 10 and 19 air yards.
Seems bad. Seems bad.
None.
They're saving them all for the Rams?
And you think that's a reason for them they're going to win the game?
I think that what I'm telling you is they've been doing it despite having kind of the best things, because that's where A.J. Brown lives. That's where A.J. Brown operates from. I don't think Kevin Patullo, I know Eagles fans they're very spirited fans, and maybe they're asking a lot of their new OC, but he even sees that as well. So some of these things are really going to help them move forward in a way where now they're kind of getting the weirds out. Get the weird. They will be the fresh ones now, according to Greg's model is about freshness these days. So
yeah, we're going to keep it fresh. We're looking forward to what could be a potential NFC Championship game. Time for Who's Eating Good, presented by Applebee's. Oh, yeah, the guy we didn't mention, Saquon Barkley. He lit up the Rams last season. He actually averaged 8.8 yards per carry against the Los Angeles Rams a season ago. So more or less than 10 times that, 88 rushing yards on Sunday, Cynthia.
I have 99 projected for him. It was so hard to talk about the passing game just then without mentioning Saquon Barkley, but I did it. because I was saving it for here. Why? Because he's averaging over 5 yards per rush to the outside, just about 5 to the inside, which means he's effective from everywhere, guys. It's these deep runs. They don't have an answer for it. Saquon Barkley, at least 90 yards, 99, and I have a conservative model.
All right, Eagles fans hoping Saquon gets rolling in this one. Speaking of rolling, after a disappointing loss in Week 1, Jared Goff and the Lions had the offense humming last week.
4th and goal for the Lions from the 4. Goff takes the snap, fakes the give, rolls right, got a man wide open. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1, 2, 3 times today. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Gentlemen, Jared Goff has completed his last 16 passes.
Dan Campbell, what's this team going to look? There's certain people that you just can't bet against. Dan Campbell being one, Jared Goff being the other. Just his ability to always consistently bounce back is very admirable.
That was the 5th of Jared Goff's 5 touchdowns. He would jump in the stands after that. The Lions heading to Baltimore to take on Lamar and the Ravens on Monday Night Football, which was actually Greg Rosenthal's Super Bowl prediction.
Yes.
So what happens in it, Greg?
Well, the same thing that's going to happen in the Super Bowl. The Ravens are going to win. It's going to be by more than in the Super Bowl. I know I'm giving you a lot of picks here. 38-31, because I ultimately don't think this Lions defense is up for it, because the Ravens passing attack is so dynamic right now, because Zay Flowers has gone to another level. He is top 5 in the NFL in yards per team target, which I didn't even know was a stat, but it means he's getting a huge target share. Top 5 in that as well. In terms of PFF's metrics, top 5 receiver there. If you're into fantasy like Cynthia and Patrick and most of America, top 5 there. And
what about you?
You're also seeing, I'm not really as into it anymore. I kind of worked out.
Wah, wah.
The biggest problem the Ravens have is like finding enough targets for all of these players. DeAndre Hopkins has 3 incredible catches this season, and he's only been on the field for about 28 snaps. So you get Isaiah Likely back hopefully this week, and I think they spread the ball around. Ultimately, it's the Lions defense that I'm picking against.
Yeah, I've got the Ravens as well. Not as big of a score as Greg does, 29-26. A rare situation where facing the Lions might lead to better rushing outcomes than the previous week, because the Lions are statistically the best rush defense in the NFL since 2023. But there is some context there. When your team's scoring 35, 40, 52 points sometimes, there's not as many opportunities to run the ball. I think the Ravens defense makes plays, and Derrick Henry is able to get enough yardage to keep Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra, Jared Goff. I don't think they're scoring 52, but famous last words. But maybe the Ravens score 53, Cynthia, who knows?
I don't have 53. I have 52 points for the whole game.
Oh, okay.
28-24 in favor of Baltimore in this one, even though it breaks my little lion heart. The model says Baltimore, so I pick it. Why? Because in order to beat the Ravens, you have to be a little bit more multiple with your quarterback. Let's look at Jared Goff rushing. It happened last week. Are you ready for it? Oh, here we go. Oh, he's looking for the pass. Nope, he's got to take it himself.
Take off, Jared.
There he is.
Speed.
I mean, come on. That was pretty much it. We'd have to put it on loop. Oh, here we go. We're watching it again because
I'm surprised they didn't have to re-turf the field from the first.
That's a successful run.
It is
Success
a successful
rate,
run.
100%.
But here's the point. If you're going to be really multiple, if you're going to Josh Allen this thing against the Ravens defense, you have to have those explosive plays in the run game and the explosive plays in the pass game. They got the pass down. Now let's see if they can figure out how to be a little bit more multiple using the running backs against this defense.
We saw the evidence. Jared could do it himself.
He can do
looking
it.
forward to Monday Night Football.
He can do it.
It's time for The Read, presented by Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Copilot, your AI companion for NFL game day and every day. Big AFC West matchup Sunday in LA, so we asked Copilot, what are the top 3 matchups to watch in Broncos-Chargers? Copilot says the following. Justin Herbert against the Broncos defense, Bo Nix against the Chargers secondary, and a battle in the trenches. The Chargers O-line versus the Broncos front 7. Thanks, Copilot. Let's dive into this matchup. The Chargers looking for their first 3-0 start since 2002. Did they get it, Cynthia?
When you said the read, I was worried that you were reading the thing like Ron Burgundy, because the read is what. Anyways,
I am Copilot.
I can't. I have Denver actually winning this game 23-22. Why? It's because of the blitz. Obviously, Denver blitzes the most often. It's over 51% of the time. But here's the thing. They do it on first down a lot. They don't necessarily do it on third down as often. What I'm saying is these early down situations leads to more predictable third down situations, which makes it harder to complete passes. They're also good at stopping the run, something that we know Jim Harbaugh at least wants to do, even though they're not really doing it as much or as successfully as he wants to do it. So I'm looking at this defense, and there's a certain guy missing for the Chargers defense that just tipped the scales ever so slightly in favor of the Broncos.
Well, thank you so much, Cynthia. That certain guy is the player that I
Who?
am making the decision. It's Khalil Mack. I have the Broncos winning because the Chargers are going to need to overcome the next month or so without Khalil Mack dealing with that arm injury. And I think a Bronco makes his return, and that Bronco is running Bo Nix. Two opportunities last year, of course, in the division to play the Los Angeles Chargers. And the first one, he averaged over 10 yards a carry. And then it's like, okay, we got to stop Bo from running. No, 8 yards a carry. In the second game, we haven't seen, other than this play, which looked really good against the Indianapolis Colts, a lot of Bo running this season. I think Bo takes advantage of the lack of Mack and runs his way to a win against the Chargers.
Wow, more like Bo picks this year, you know what I'm saying? Look, the disrespect will end here for Herbo. You know, we're going to pick against them at home right across the street, SoFi Stadium. I'm not going to. The Chargers win this game 24-21. Let's Just Greg it up. Just Greg Nation. We're winning 2 out of 3 Just Greg picks this year, and it's because Justin Herbert is hooping. That's why they're going to win this game. Like, sometimes you watch him, he's just like a little robotic. Like, let's show a little pizzazz, Justin Herbert, in previous years. What's he doing this year?
Pizzazz.
It's hooping. It's threes and layups.
Riz.
No, I'm not calling it that. It's big throws down the field. Deep shots, those are the threes, and then the layups, that's him on the ground, taking the scramble opportunities that haven't been there in the past, scrambling way more than he ever has before, and his average depth of target, 9.9 yards, way deeper than ever before. He's got the best group of weapons around him. I like the pass protection. I like him at home with the Chargers faithful rooting him on.
Just Greg Nation. Herbo's going out there getting buckets on Sunday. The party just getting started here on Game Day View. Up next, the Cowboys snatched victory using defeat of Brandon Aubrey last week. Do we have the kicker making the difference this week? Our picks for Cowboys Bears coming up next on Game Day View.
Okay, right hash, 46, win the game. Good operation, 46, the kick, wins the game. Butter, 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 extra butter. Cowboys win in overtime, 40-37. Aren't you glad you paid attention to this game?
What a game that was in Week 2. Time for Seize the Season, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, as we get a look at the first touchdown score odds between the Bears and the Cowboys. Javonte Williams and DeAndre Swift leading us off. Then CeeDee Lamb and Rome Odunze. George Pickens makes his way into the top 5. Let's talk some more about this matchup, as Dallas is coming off that dramatic overtime win against the Giants, while the Bears are coming off a stomping by Cynthia's Lions. Who wins the game, Greg?
This was a tough one for me. I ultimately went with the Cowboys 40-37. Everybody in the pool in Fantasy League, points. But ultimately, I got to go with the most fun quarterback in the league to watch right now. Dak Prescott might be the best quarterback in the league right now. I had to just create a bespoke collection of plays that I personally selected because I wanted everyone at home to have all the fun that I'm having watching this man absolutely cook. So many of these throws were into absolute tight windows against the New York Giants, and I know that game made Brian Daboll sick. It made Giants fans sick, but some of these throws, too, were just too good. That one to take the lead late in the game to George Pickens, and then another one to Pickens under fire to win it in overtime. He's anticipating so well. The arm is perfect, like the accuracy. He might be the best quarterback in the league through 2 weeks.
I mean, I thought you were going to be on the other. I didn't know what I thought anyways. I have Dallas winning this one by 2 points, 25-23. The run game, I said it ahead of the season. Where are the Cowboys going to get the run game? Answer, Javonte Williams. He's the guy that was not someone the Broncos wanted to keep. So
That's
now
a nice way to put it.
they didn't want to keep him. So now he's in Dallas, and what's he doing? Just being an incredibly efficient and effective rusher, which is helping Dak Prescott be able to be in this situation to have just a titch more time to be able to handle some of those pressures and throws that are coming, those deep throws that you talked about. But I'm watching these runs, and I mean, it's great, and I was wrong. I did not think it was going to go this well. I was completely wrong about this. This is what we have to do. We have to take our mea culpa here.
Yeah.
I was very wrong about the Dallas Cowboys' ability to run the football with Javonte Williams. Look at him, inside, outside. He's just it's great. Congratulations, Javonte. Javonte, it's great.
He's a big fan of the show.
Yeah, Javonte accepts that apology.
I'm sorry, my friend. Listen. Sorry.
I've got a little bit wider margin than you, but we are all on the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Greg's got 77 points, though, so that's a little different. I got 25, 22. The Bears defense still adjusting to a new coordinator. And what a back-to-back situation when you're still adjusting to go from playing Jared Goff to playing Dak Prescott. And I'm sorry to the Bears fans watching, especially one in particular who's up in our control room right now. Jared Goff and the Lions carved up this defense where they're playing cloud coverage on 34% of their dropbacks. And yeah, Dak Prescott, still one of the best quarterbacks if you go all the way back to 2018 against zone coverages. And that's with the injuries in the secondary. We saw the trouble that the Eagles had playing against Dallas. And man, there's just a tough way to look at the Bears winning this game. But there's always a chance. And as Greg says, that the Bears are going to score 37 points. Also, Greg was fresh off of watching the game against the Giants. And so, he's thinking the Cowboys' defense is very vulnerable.
The Cowboys' defense is terrible. That's why there's going to be 77 points. The Matt Eberflus revenge game, and the revenge is you're not employing Matt Eberflus. The Bears are pumped about this.
Seize the Season brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. New users can bet $1 to boost their next 20 bets by 100%. Must be 21 or older. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms.
27-23, 7:18 to go. And the kickoff right to left. A liner handled by Gibson on the run to the 20, to the 25 with a cut inside the 30. He bounces away near side to the 45-50. Gibson to the 35 of the Miami 30. 15, 10, 5. He goes the distance. Touchdown, Patriots. No flag. A somersault to punctuate a touchdown return for New England. And the Patriots have the lead.
Run, Mike, run. The Patriots coming off their first win of the season. Now they've got Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. What takes place, Cynthia?
I'm looking at it. It says the Steelers are favored.
Yeah.
What? Wrong team favored. I have the New England Patriots winning this one 23-22 at home. I'm looking at Drake May, and I'm thinking he kind of reminds me of, the innocence of, my dog, right? He doesn't know what to be afraid of anything. He doesn't know what's coming for him sometimes. He's throwing these balls. There's pressure coming to him, not on this particular play, but in general, he's just looking, he's having fun. I love my dogs. They're crazy. They're innocent, and they don't even know what to be afraid. They're not even afraid of cars. Maybe they should be, but ultimately, that's the kind of, reckless abandon he's playing with, but it's paying off, and he's really starting to use his legs in smart ways. The run game's coming together. I think this is the Travion Henderson breakout game. I'm looking at this opportunity and the marriage between he and Josh McDaniels as the play caller, that seems to be going well. So Josh McDaniels, it's a good fit.
I thought McDaniels had a great game last week. I love the comparison. I think if you lined up all 32 starting quarterbacks, Drake May is the most dog-like. He just feels.
It's a compliment.
It just feels right.
It's a compliment. I'm crazy about my dog, so it's a huge compliment.
I agree. Milton Williams, on the other hand, he's just a grown man. He was the number one player on my free agency list a year ago, and the Patriots ended up picking him up. And through 2 weeks, he has the highest pressure rate, second highest pressure rate among all defensive tackles. He called game on the Dolphins last week, but he's been creating consistent pressure in both games, and Aaron Rodgers has not dealt well with pressure this year. For a guy who doesn't want to get hit a lot, Aaron Rodgers sure is getting hit a lot. The offensive line is not playing well, and Milton Williams isn't the only guy. Harold Landry is playing really well. Christian Barmore is actually fifth among all defensive tackles in pressure rate. So the Patriots aren't a good defense, but they are good up front, and I think they're going to get a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers.
Great old man names on that team, too.
Harold,
Milton, Christian.
Yeah.
Old man names. Love it.
Great young man names like Gordy and Clyde. I celebrate Cynthia's dogs as well. So let's get some dogs barking because I'm going to take a straight bond here. I will take the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't exactly have either of these two teams playing in the Super Bowl, but I've got the Steelers by one. Let's discuss last week. Because some things took place last week for the New England Patriots. They got outgained by the Finns. The Finns just had a punt return touchdown, so Antonio Gibson and Mike Vrabel, by the way, go running down the sideline. That's a big point. Tyreek Hill had caught every pass thrown his way, and Tua was missing him. Tua threw a bad pick. Devon Achane, this was like a go-ahead touchdown. This is it.
They left too much time on the clock for Drake May. He was going to come right back.
But
Either
Devon
way.
Achane stepped out of bounds. My point is, a lot of things had to happen for the Patriots to win that game, and I have to pick somebody. Full disclosure, not exactly favorite situations coming here, but I will take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game. Still to come, the Kansas City Chiefs can't keep losing, right? 0-2. They have as many losses this season as they did in all of last year. Will they turn things around Sunday against the Giants? Maybe, or maybe not. Could you hear a
Those
case
are the
for
two options.
0-3 Chiefs? Our thoughts coming up next. With NFL Plus, keep the NFL in reach. Stream live, local, and primetime games on mobile during the regular and postseason. And NFL Network, including 7 exclusive live games, live game audio, and more. With NFL Plus Premium, get more football with NFL RedZone, game replays, and NFL Pro. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com/network. Terms and conditions apply. The Chiefs and the Giants Sunday night at MetLife. KC is 0-2 for the first time in the entire Patrick Mahomes era. Happy birthday to Patrick earlier this week. Russ and the G-Man put up a fight last week in Dallas, but as Greg pointed out, he was failed by the entire apparatus. So what happens for Russ? Does he bounce back? Do they do it for Russ, Cynthia?
For Russ or for Patrick? Because
the Chiefs will be doing it.
I think the Chiefs would be doing it for.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Kansas City 25-18 in this matchup. I'm never going to bet against 15. And when I'm looking at 15 and what he's doing on the ground, he's on pace for 1,000 yards. I don't think that happens, but it's still fun to say. But what I am really, really interested in is the number of explosive runs that he's had. Of the team's 9, he has 7 of them. That's a ridiculous amount. He's also throwing deep again. What more do you want from this man? Pick it up, everyone else. You can't let Patrick Mahomes and this situation not be turned around, right? You know, I think we have an opportunity here to have a very low probability thing happen, which is a team that starts 0-2 end up winning their division still. So let's see if they start by notching that first win this week. That's what the model says.
I agree, Cynthia. I have Kansas City getting their first win, 24-17, as the Giants offense kind of comes back to earth a bit. Can't afford to do that when the defense is struggling, as Greg pointed out. And also, what the run game is doing for the New York Giants. Because let's look at this Chiefs rush defense. Yes, it's traditionally good. Yes, they have slowed folks down. The running backs for the New York Giants have 93 yards this season.
What?
There are 20 running backs in the NFL, because I have to sort the list because Josh Allen has more rushing yards than the New York Giants running backs. But there's 20 single players.
So does Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, that have outrushed the Giants running back room. It's a struggle. They play. It's a good defense. Hey, good luck, Russ. Maybe the dart conversation will fire up again, Greg.
Right. Like Brian Daboll, who was so mad at the end of that game because Russell Wilson had one of the best games of his career and they still didn't win. So I really think this Giants defense is one of the most poorly coached units in the league, and they're going to make the Chiefs offense look like the old Chiefs. So 24-14 is my game and is my result. And I'm looking at this Giants defense, and they're actually blitzing a lot. Like the sum of the parts, it's just not adding up. Like Abdul Carter actually is playing well. Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence are playing well. Brian Burns is playing well, and yet on the back end, especially at the linebacker position, but also at cornerback, there's just a lot of confusion. It's a strange mix of like aggressive but not very disciplined, and ultimately I think that costs them this week.
All right, let's take a look at some player props for this game on Sunday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes, 234.5 passing yards. Russell Wilson, 1.5 passing touchdowns. Malik Neighbors, 78.5 receiving yards. 4.5 receptions for Travis Kelce, and 10.5 carries. Wow, for Isaiah Pacheco. Time for 2-Minute Drill, presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Let's make some quick picks here on Game Day View, starting with the Falcons and Panthers. Atlanta coming off a big win on Sunday Night Football against the Vikings. What did they do to follow that up, Cynthia?
They also win again this week. I have 25-20, maybe a bit more moderate than the both of you. But I'm looking at this defense, and guess what?
What's that?
They can bring the heat. The pressure potential actually went way up. I am worried that no A.J. Terrell could be a problem. However, I'm looking at this front specifically and saying, congratulations, the draft strategy and the free agent strategy paid off. You can bring the heat, and we know we've seen some not so great results from Bryce Young when he's been under pressure, which he's been under a ton of it, and against the blitz.
All right, all on the Falcons there. Let's go to the Packers and the Browns. Greg, any chance that Cleveland shocks the world?
There's always a chance.
Yeah.
It's the NFL, but I don't predict it happening. In fact, I predict the Browns lose 20-5. There's only one way you can get to 5 points. You guys can figure it out. Let's talk about the Packers offense, because it's much more interesting to me when they're on the field. To me, it's the biggest mismatch of the weekend when the Packers defense is on the field this week. Really been impressed with the maturity that Jordan Love is showing. You don't think of him as a veteran quarterback, but man, he's been in this system with Matt LaFleur for a long time. And I saw on the opening drive last week him do a bunch of check with me's, which in a short week, installing all of that and everyone being on the same page, it really shows that these receivers, while they're young and the offensive linemen young, Jordan Love young, they've all been together for a while. I think you see that continuity. They play like a veteran team.
Looking forward to that. We're all on the Green Bay Packers. The Bengals and the Vikings, which was a controversial pick matchup in this studio. A battle of backups between Jake Browning and Carson Wentz. I have Minnesota winning 26-17. We all ultimately have the Minnesota
You
Vikings.
sure, Greg?
Well,
I switched
Greg.
it back and forth, and now I'm back to the Vikings.
Okay.
Who wants to be on an island with Jake Browning other than his girlfriend?
I'd like to talk about the other quarterback in this one. Greg loves Love, by the way.
Who doesn't?
And that's Carson Wentz, who's seen the formula. It's out there. It's available. If you throw the ball to Justin Jefferson, operate Kevin O'Connell's offense, then you can win $55 million guaranteed, just like Sam Darnold did a season ago. As we look at Justin Jefferson, I think he will have a huge day. Looking forward to seeing what he can do in this one. And yeah, Jamar Chase too. It's rough for the viewers at home that we missed out on a chance to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase play against their old college teammate. But that's it's one of the frustrating things about football. We'll get back to more of the fun stuff when we come back, because Sunday Fun Day is upon us. We are making our predictions for who's going to crush the stat sheet this weekend, plus more game picks. Stick around. You're watching Game Day View. Back on Game Day View, time for Sunday Fun Day. Let's look at the top games of the week as we've got the Rams. Greg and I going with the Rams, giving Cynthia the
You guys sure about
Super Bowl
that?
champs. Yeah,
You let me be on an island with the Eagles.
leave it that way.
We let you be on an island with the Vikings last week, and that turned out pretty good for us.
That's the one that I've gotten wrong.
Literally, it's the only game that I've gotten right that you've gotten wrong all year.
And we're all on the Baltimore Ravens for Monday Night Football. I got so excited. I just wanted to get to Sunday Fun Day. But those are the games of the week that we're looking forward to. We're reminding you what we picked. But let's predict some stat leaders for the best day of the week. Cynthia, who will be the top passer on Sunday?
Sunday. Jake Browning. Jake Browning?
What?
Yes?
Did you
You
hear
didn't even pick him to win.
that actually checks out if you think about it, right? Game script, right? Throwing quite a bit of yards. I think it's going to be a little messy. It's going to be a little rough, which means there's going to be a lot more passing yards. We've seen Jake Browning be really good against the blitz. When he's not blitzed, that's when trouble happens. So if you're listening to me, and we know you're listening to me, Brian Flores, this is going to be a chance for you to blitz. I think that's going to be, I didn't say he's going to have no interceptions. I just said the most passing.
Your BC friend, Brian Flores.
Yeah.
That's right. He was orientation leader.
The Cynthia Freeland tree is extensive and expansive. There's a lot there.
And weird.
We'll mock up a graphic one day. Let's go to top rusher. Who will that be?
My tree is like a stump. It just doesn't even exist. But
a
I was
lie.
once
That's
in
a lie.
fantasy football, and I can imagine right now there's no one I would rather have this week than Bijan Robinson going up against the Carolina Panthers. When this question was posed to me, I thought, who is playing against the Carolina Panthers this week? That'll be my choice. Oh, it just happens to be the best running back in the league who gets better every single year, every single week. He is actually topping his previous totals in basically everything: touches, yardage, missed tackle rate, and it feels like it could be even more on the ground. I know a lot of his production has been through the air. For fantasy, you don't care, but for this question, you want it on the ground. And Carolina, despite getting Derek Brown back, has not solved their rushing defense this year.
Yeah, it helps when the other team decides to not run the ball like the Arizona Cardinals did last week. I'll take the last one, the most receiving yards on Sunday. I think it will be CeeDee Lamb against Chicago. Dak and CeeDee really picking up right where they left off a couple of years ago, especially if you want to talk in the fantasy world. With CeeDee was an incredible fantasy football player, ultimately number one pick consensus the season after that. And the Bears dealing with that injury for Johnson, whether they're playing man or zone. It's not looking like it's going to be a fun Sunday for Dennis Allen's squad. The highest over-unders for Week 3, according to our friends at Caesars Sportsbook. The Lions and the Ravens taking the title at 53. Cowboys Bears at 50.5. Just a little touch under where Greg had the number. The Broncos and the Chargers.
77.
Cardinals,
do one of those alternate lines they like sending you.
Giants. As we get to over-under here on Game Day View, we have acquired the fingers that indicate we'll go green. Green is on Greg's left hand, the red on his right hand. There, he's switching them now. Let's start.
I'm colorblind. This is always kind of not really supportive of the colorblind community, but we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll try to keep those straight. We'll start with the Texans and the Jags. The point total is 44, and I am looking at two very, very good defenses. As much as I love points, I will have to take the under here, just because I'm seeing a mirror image when you talk about guys that can bring pressure off the edge. Both of these teams have that, and I see points being low.
Yeah, by the way, one of the hardest games to pick of the week, I took the Texans to win this game. I don't feel great about it. I do feel great about this number being low. I love what I've seen out of the Texans defense this season, and ultimately I think the Jaguars, even though they're running the ball well, that makes it a low-scoring script.
Yep, I'm with you. Low-scoring script, and I like the defense for the Texans. Somehow the Texans are now not favorites, and whatever. The Texans defense good.
All right, let's stay in the AFC South. Colts and Titans. The over/under is 43.5, and I have a Titans win, and I'm also going to take the over here because I think the Colts will get points, but a fun Tennessee Titans offense moves the ball a little bit better, and they get a win here.
Yeah, I don't feel like this was a game in the Survivor, picks. I don't feel great about the Colts, but I do like this number to go over because I don't think that the Indianapolis Colts defense right now is fully formed. Little short in the secondary and definitely not a great pass rush. So I think both teams get their points in this game.
We're just all in simpatico here. We're all matching. Do I think that Indianapolis is going to have some regression? Yes. But do I think it's going to be more than the number here? No. Over.
All right, we'll see if we can keep our cohesion streak going. The Cardinals and 49ers, both teams 2-0. The point total is 46 points. And I think if I were going to want that, I would need to know for sure that Brock Purdy is going to play. I am going to take the under here, but I do have the Arizona Cardinals getting a win again because I'm not sure that Brock Purdy is not.
Well, who am I to disagree with a man wearing an Arnold Schwarzenegger shirt? I mean, it's just intimidating to be next to that guy. I think it's a low-scoring game. I've been really impressed with the 49ers defense so far this season. Robert Saleh has these guys playing fast. He's been a little more creative than in the past in terms of his blitzes and disguises. And then D. Winters and Fred Warner look to me like the two best linebackers in terms of a tandem in the entire league.
I like all of that. I guess we're all the same here. I have 45 points in this matchup. I'm going to talk about the Cardinals defense being good at stopping the run, which is something interesting. If you're a Christian McCaffrey fantasy owner, they'll probably gain his yards through the air, not necessarily on the ground. And by fantasy, I mean, if you care about yards in the air, not the ground.
Yeah, there could be a difference. Again, we're all in lockstep and over under like a hive mind, kind of like Skynet. or cybernetic organism. The NFL international games return to NFL Network on September 28th. 6 games, 4 cities, Dublin, London, Berlin, and Madrid. Snooze off, game on for
Greg's
Sunday morning
going.
football. Only on NFL Network, also streaming with NFL Plus subscription required for NFL Plus. Visit plus.nfl.com for terms.
I'll see you next week, Dublin. Just not on NFL Network.
He's on the way. Coming up, is this the week that Ashton Jeanty finally breaks out? Fantasy managers seriously hope so, including the one talking right now. We're talking player props for Jeanty and the rest of the rookie class right after this quick break. You're watching Game Day View.
Pollard in the backfield. Ward takes the snap, drifts back. He has plenty of time. Now he's going to roll back to the right. Back past the 30, 25. Throws across his body to the back byline. It's gone! It's caught! That is a Titans touchdown! Alec Io Manor! Are you kidding me? What a throw by Cam Ward!
Oh, fun moment from Cam Ward. Here are the rookie leaders through week 2. Cam's got more passing yards than any other rookie. Ja'Cory Krosky, or Bill Merritt, has 99 rushing yards. Tedderone McMillan with 168 receiving yards, and Tyler Warren with 155 receiving yards, leading the way for tight ends. He's also carrying the ball. I'm sure he's going to throw the ball at some point, maybe snap it. As we love these rookies, it's time for Rookie Watch. Let's talk some props for these youngsters. Greg, will Cam Ward have more or less than 198 passing yards on Sunday?
I mean, what kind of man would I be to come out here and say Cam Ward's going to struggle against the Colts defense? That's no fun. We're going over. He gets better each and every week, and you see the highlight plays, but last week I thought the decision-making was good. You might say, like, you shouldn't be trying some of these throws, but when you got an arm like Cam Ward, you should try him because he's pulling them off. Some of the high leverage throws like this are just so much fun to watch. I think they're going to be in a game script a lot this season where they're needing to throw the ball a lot. And so Cam Ward against this Colts defense, which I'm not quite trusting, I think goes over 198.5.
Especially if Charvarius Ward isn't there, that could make a big difference for the Colts defense. I'm really excited to watch Cam Ward. I'm really proud of my pick of him as our offensive rookie of the year ahead of the season. Why? Because some of the specific numbers, like the depth of target numbers, etc., they haven't popped off yet, but the signals are there. So some of the data is noisy. He's going to get better every single game. If his O-line could just help him out a little bit, just a little bit there, that would be helpful. He's getting pressured the third most often, but I think, listen, the math says that it's going to be less, but that's because I have fewer total drives in this one because a lot of rushing on both sides of the ball. It's not questioning anyone's manhood here. We're just
I'm just saying it's no fun. It's no fun to go against Cam Ward at this point.
Yeah, probably no fun for Ashton Jeanty to look at his phone right now. The signals and the data are probably very noisy. His fantasy managers are like, try harder. He's at a slow start. Over or under 55 rushing yards against the Commanders, Cynthia?
I think we see a little bit of a difference in this one. Each week we see a little bit better. Now, you're seeing him get stuffed a ton. He's been given exactly 0.1 yards before contact by his O-line.
Yikes.
Not great. That's really hard to do. So I think what happens is Chip Kelly goes back to the drawing board here and says, all right, we're going to run out of 12. We're going to run more often. And in this defense, that's something you could potentially do. So let's just say I think it's going to, the number has come down enough where I think Jeanty is actually going to surpass that number, but I don't think it's going to be something that, when you drafted him top 8 in your fantasy league, maybe he's not going to be like running back 3 or 4 or whatever it is. It's going to take a minute to get there.
Another highly drafted rookie, Travis Hunter. I'll take this one, more or less than 36 receiving yards against the Texans. I will take the under. It pains me to say it a little bit, but I do have an out. I did take the under. We all took the under for the score in this game. The Jags have realized that Travis Hunter is one of their best cornerbacks. He has to play defense, and understandably wants to play both ways, but you got to stop people. And he had a rough defensive pass interference call against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he plays defense very well, a little bit offense, but I'm going to take the under in terms of 36.5 receiving yards. Time for quick picks here on Game Day View. We will start with the Raiders and Commanders. Both squads looking to bounce back from losses last week. Who bounces back the best, Cynthia?
The best bouncer backer is Washington, 26-20 32-20, a 6-point win in this matchup. One of the things that I like is a scary Terry touchdown. Why? Because Deebo Samuel's been getting all of the targets. He's had 7 receptions for the first time in a really long time. So in both games, by the way. So I think when they're zigging, he's gonna zag. And Terry McLaurin touchdown. It's maybe not, it's a good value too, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of upside there.
The Jets and the Bucks, we zigged last week. Greg decided to just zag and take the Jets. Tyrod Taylor gets the start for Gangrene. No Justin Fields. 2 weeks in a row, Greg, you're going to take the Jets?
Yes, I am actually. Look, my pick of the Jets against the Bills last week was one of the worst in this show's history. And when you fail that spectacularly, you have to own it. And then you have to double down. Let me tell you something about dollar cost averaging. Now you're buying the Jets when it's really low. 7-point underdogs against a Bucks offensive line that lost Cody Mock for the season, Luke Gedeke, their right tackle, not healthy at left tackle. If you look at the numbers, the Bucks are about 19th overall in efficiency. They've gotten a little lucky to win these games. I think Tyrod Taylor is made for this moment, and they go out there and they make me smart, or at least make me look smart.
I love a good finance term, you know that, but sunk cost fallacy here is starting to come to mind because sometimes we shouldn't consider our past mistakes when looking at forward anticipation of other results, right?
I believe this team is better than they've shown. It's going to be the week 1. Tampa's coming down after a prime time. It's a short week. Come on.
I think that at the very least, we're guaranteed that we will hear the thing that Greg just said, no matter what happens this weekend. The Saints and the Seahawks, Spencer Rattler versus Sam Darnold. I think Seattle wins this one, but not by a whole lot, 26-22. The pass defense, though, is legit. The number 1 pressure rate in all of football, 49+% of dropbacks. They get pressure. Do you know how annoying it will be to try to do anything in the world, but somebody is bothering you almost 50% of the time? Now ratchet that up to one of the more difficult things to do, which is complete passes in the National Football League.
We do work with Greg.
I was thinking.
I set him up, you knock him out.
Same thing.
Just kidding.
Can you imagine living with me? Okay.
All love here. And again,
Love your wife.
the Seattle Seahawks have shown a lot offensively, especially improvement in the second half, as we talk about Greg's personal life. Oh yeah, we're all aboard. Meme us away, Saints fans, if you get that win. Coming up, folks, it's time to write this down. Our favorite player props of the week, and this time we are not allowing Greg to talk about his boy, Kayshon Boutte. We got props on props on props from some of the league's biggest stars. Stick around. You are watching Game Day View. Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Join Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, Steve Mariucci, Cynthia Freeland, and the whole Good Game Day Morning crew as they get you ready for kickoff. Kurt Warner goes one-on-one with Jordan Love, plus the keys for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to avoid a Giants upset. All that and more, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Time for Write This Down here on Game Day View as we get to some prop predictions for Week 3 and batting leadoff is Greg Rosen.
Yeah, no Kayshon Boutte this week, although I think he'll do well. I'm going to go with my MVP frontrunner after 2 weeks. It's a little early, but it's Justin Herbert, and this is the best Write This Down I've had so far this year. They are basing this number off of a previous Justin Herbert that doesn't exist anymore. Over 21.5 rushing yards. He is looking to scramble when he gets pressured, and the Broncos will apply a lot of pressure. He's had a couple long runs in each game. He's gone way over this number in each game. I feel comfortable that Justin Herbert is a different man. He's more swaggy. He's more aggressive on the ground.
Sure you don't want a dollar cost average Kayshon Boutte down?
I mean, I would.
All right, mine, I'm going to keep it pretty simple here, and it's that Justin Jefferson scores a touchdown. You actually get good value on this situation. I know it's Carson Wentz, and I know that it's his 6th team in 6 different years. Maybe he's like the opposite of Mac Jones with the love affair you had last week, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking end zone for a guy who's great against press coverage, and that's what he's going to face.
I have an apology for everybody for mine from last week because I said Joe Flacco was going to throw for 250. I didn't think he was going to get benched because it was blowout, so I'm going to take somebody who will not be benched. Bijan Robinson will have over 25.5 receiving yards against the Panthers. He has hit that once out of the 2 games that he's played. And yeah, he's done it a couple times on one play. So I think Bijan will hit that number. And I just think that we love you guys watching us. Thanks for watching Game Day View. For Cynthia Freeland and Greg Rosenthal, I'm Patrick Claybon. Enjoy all the games. We'll see you next week.